So now we're going to move on to speak a little bit more about the actual importance of the key of intellect and why it's so crucial that you unlock that part of your brain that will allow you to, use that logical reasoning and also the discernment of what is true and what is false. So when it comes to the key of intellect, if you think about what would happen if you didn't have this key, and what we find a lot in the world right now, where women are being more like masculine and males are being more feminine. I see a lot of guys right now who they cannot actually manage their emotions, and so they have no control over how they feel and how they can operate. So that makes them not actually succeed in how they're supposed to, in becoming a provider, in being how they want to be as that masculine role, that leader. And the thing about having the key of intellect is that this is where you're tapping into, especially as a male, you're tapping into a part of yourself where you're able to really align yourself with the highest level of truth. Because I spoke about in the previous video as well, and that there's 4 levels of truth. I'm not going to go through it all in detail again, but without that key of intellect, then it's going to be damn near difficult for you to apply that wisdom and share that wisdom with your family, with your children, with people in your organization. So the thing about the key of intellect as well, what I really like about what happens once you have tapped into this, is that you now become so much better at making decisions. And not just decisions which are like these smaller decisions of what clothes am I going to wear today, or what am I going to eat today for food. I'm talking more so about the long-term decisions that we make that have bigger consequences and bigger benefits and bigger rewards. So the thing is, throughout your entire life, if you've gone through the education system and you've been put in a school to then go to university, to then get a job, chances are you barely made any decisions, any long-term decisions yourself. Because what's happened is people have made your decisions for you up until a certain age. So when you're in school, for example, people are making your decision for you as to what school you go to, and the fact that you have to go in and study certain subjects. All those decisions are made for you. You don't get to choose what you want to study. Then you go into secondary school, where you might get to have a little bit of an influence as to which secondary school you want to go to, but it tends to be like, I remember back when it was for myself, you kind of get put into, the majority of people, a catchment area for the school, depending on where you live, type of thing. So it's never based upon, okay, I want to learn this particular thing, so I'm going to make a decision to go out there and study in a different country or whatever. The only time it really gets to that point is university. And even with university, again, it's more like your teachers influence you to make a decision, and you make the decision based on what everybody else is doing as opposed to what you want to do deep down. I remember the reason for why I wanted to go to university when I was like 17, 18. I never went in the end, but the reason I wanted to go was simply because everybody else was doing it, and I thought that that's going to be the coolest thing to do. I'm going to have the most fun, I'm going to be able to experience the most dopamine and things like that. So we don't really make a decision until maybe we get married, we choose our career, and then that's like the only decisions that we make, but it's already been heavily influenced by other outside external factors. So when you can develop and you can unlock the key of intellect in your mind, and that's when you can become responsible in making your own decisions. So this is why I believe that the key of intellect is so important, because one thing that I heard, especially from a guy called Alex Hormozy, if you haven't looked at his content already, he's one of the people out there who has not only created the level of success of like having hundreds of millions in his organization in his 20s, but the thing about Alex Hormozy is that when you study his content, you just realize how much this guy has unlocked the key of intellect, because everything is so logical. Everything is just so objective in terms of how he does it. It's mathematical, it's scientific. I love it. So the thing what he said is the commonality between successful people, because now he's getting to surround himself with more successful people as he's changed where he lives, and he changes the people who he speaks on a daily basis. What he said about successful people is that they all have in common one thing, which is that they are very good at making decisions, and when they do, they make them quicker. And so the reason for why they are where they are now is because they've made more decisions in a short space of time and simply condensed time. Now, not all decisions are going to be the best decisions. Not all decisions are going to give you the outcome that you really want. But what it is that you have more of a confirmation, and you have more confidence in going about taking that decision and executing within it when you have the key of intellect that you've unlocked. And chances are, if you've really sat down and started to look at the numbers, for example, then you're taking away from the actual emotions of the situation as to what this is. And if you look at not only the thing about how things are going to pan out if you go down the direction that you want to do, when you have the key of intellect, you're also thinking about what happens if I don't. What's the cost of doing the thing? What's the cost of not doing the thing? It's what we call opportunity cost, that you can learn in economics. So yeah, that's a little bit as to the key of intellect and why it's so important to have the key of intellect within you, and how it's actually going to be applied, where you can apply it. In the next few videos, I'm gonna speak a little bit more about some of the things that we can be doing that will help you in making your long-term decisions and applying the key of intellect within your life, so it's going to be helpful for you and impactful. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.